Hello, welcome to the Jedi Knight Speedrun. This is Random NG.
And this is ExplodingCabbage.
Thanks for watching. We're going to get this thing on the road. Cabbage?
Okay, I did this level. It's one of the two levels I did in the run. First thing you should notice is all the diagonal running. The reason we do that is when you run diagonally in this game, it just adds your forwards and sideways velocity vectors, and so you move faster. A bit like in Doom and some of our early FPSs. So we do almost all of our running diagonally. Second thing to notice is that we're getting all the secrets on this level. The reason we do that is if you get all the secrets in a level, you get an extra 4 star, which we're going to use to get force speed on level 4, which saves shitloads of time. Third thing to notice is there's lots of enemies on this level who do a lot of damage to you very quickly. The main challenge in this level is just surviving to the end.
Also, this elevator here moves a lot faster on hard, so it's actually time savings over medium. It's like 3 times faster than it normally would.
Although there is one point in this level where the stuff moving faster on hard is actually genuinely increases the difficulty quite a bit, which is there's a bit where you get sealed into a room at the end where it's pretty hard to get out in time, especially if you've got enemies left alive blocking you. I'll point it out when we get to it.
Oh yeah, also of note is that the run is done with auto aim off. It's actually auto aim is an option in this game since it's a very early FPS, but we don't have it on.
Yeah, auto aim is just massively cheap. There's a few points of bad luck in this level. There was a ground who blocked me earlier before I came out of the secret area, and there was the guy who blocked me as I came through the door a moment ago, who sometimes you can get lucky and he'll be further away and you can jump over him, but I just had to kill him. There's probably a few seconds to be shaved with perfect luck. Now this is the hard bit. Getting out of here in time. If you get blocked anywhere, you won't make it, and then that just kills the run.
Yeah, it's pretty late in the level. But yeah, it's possible to get through this level without using any Bacta. But, I mean, we don't really need the Bacta later on, so it's alright.
And I definitely needed it in that attempt, because I finished with 3 hit points.
Oh yeah. And anyway, so this is my level here, level 2. Another thing you might have noticed is that the menu screens just fly by. It's because of a few reasons. We cut out the loading screens because it's a PC run and those can be variable across computers. And there's no menu transitions because it's an old game. And the menus are done in a separate segment, and you can just press enter to just go by both of the screens really quickly. But also, another thing you might notice is that your health goes up to at least 100. And your shields go up to at least 100 when you start every new level. So it's a big source of healing for us, and super useful.
Yeah, we finish pretty much every level, with a couple of exceptions, at very low shields and health, and we're entirely reliant on that to be able to survive.
Yeah, and right there, I'm hitting hit the switch for the box, and I have to make this box in the first go, and the level's over. It's actually kind of difficult. This is the longest level. Yeah, jumping over those Gamorrean guards earlier also is kind of tricky because if they don't act in the exact right time, they're just going to block you and end the run.
Now here, you're supposed to get into this control room here by going off and getting the red key and then opening the door, but you can just jump through this window instead.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit tricky to get out of the window. It's actually harder to get out than to get in. It's kind of weird. And right here, I'm taking it a little slow, but I'm waiting on this box anyway. And also earlier, to get in the window, I used something called a snap jump. In Jedi Knight, when you move your mouse just to look around left and right, you keep your same velocity. Your velocity changes instantly. So if you snap your view left and jump, you'll just do an immediate jump left rather than forward, where you were going. Now these boxes here also move like at 4 times speed from normal since we're on hard, and they're just at the right speed where we can catch one at exactly the right time. Here, going to third person to make this fall here easier. And it's just sort of it's a little bit of a snap fall.
These platforms here move way faster on hard than they do on any other difficulty.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because those platforms, the pattern at which they go down, and some patterns you can't actually get on them in the way I did, but that pattern is baked into the level autosave. So basically, we have to finish level 1 over and over again and check those platforms, those diagonal lifts, to make sure they're good. And here, just using the Stormtrooper rifle up close to clear everything as fast as I can and trigger the level end. Thought that level went pretty well.
Yep. This is another level by Random NG. There's a few reasonably tricky jumps here. First one's coming up now, just across this plank. It needs to do a snap jump there to have enough speed to make it, and even then it's hard. And jumping across from those balcony to balcony there is pretty tricky as well, because when you jump onto surfaces like that in this game, sometimes you slide off them. You get the same thing with crates, and you slide off the little walls around those balconies if you jump on them, so you need to be quick with your jump.
Yeah, and that trick right there with the thermal detonator, that's a diagonal ramp jump into a thermal detonator boost to get past having to collect 2 wrenches and go underwater and stuff, and the level is just over and really fast. And we do actually put 1 into speed there. And it's hard to tell, but we do put it there. We get our lightsaber, and we're off. We do actually get to jump out of the little channel there, abuse the mantling code in the Sith engine. Jedi Knight is one of these games. It has a pretty unique engine that was only basically used for this game and the expansion. It has a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, just here there's a trick where basically you're supposed to get propelled forward when you're in the rushing water there, but the trigger that pushes you forwards when you're in it extends above the water, so if you jump above the channel, then you'll still get accelerated along it, and you'll go even faster because you won't have the friction of the water slowing you down.
And here I'm clearing the area to make this jump. Cabbage came up with this one. Saves like 45 seconds, and it makes the getting all the secrets in level 1 just by itself worth it.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to pull off though. I was never able to finish this level, in one go, working in that jump. But Random NG did, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's some tricks that just define a level. I mean, you practice everything after it a whole lot, and then just put in a lot of attempts, and hope you pull it off when it does happen. Now we're doing a little bit of water skimming over there to get past the jellyfish. It's basically jumping as soon as you hit the water, doing a little bit more skimming here, so you don't have to actually swim through it. I'll let Cabbage explain this one.
Okay, after you die, your corpse can be moved by explosions, and also your corpse isn't blocked by certain entities like doors and lifts, and finally your corpse can set off level end triggers. So basically all Random NG does here is drop some grenades behind him, kills himself by the door, has the grenades push him through the door onto the level end trigger, and then it's just a matter of waiting for the level to end.
You can actually hear the moldy crow coming to get you. This one, we have 3 speed, and this is where it really takes off because this level is just like over in a flash. Do a little thermal detonator jump up here. This is the only spot you can jump up there. There's like push triggers everywhere else. And we're done.
Is that a big droid out here?
My favorite way of getting by these sequencer charges, just run by them. A little boost off of one there. Now we're collecting these more sequencer charges here because they come in super handy later, and you will get to see what we do with them. Just a little teaser.
In a couple of levels' time.
Yeah, we go and we get this secret area over here for a few reasons. One, it has armor, which can fuel rail jumps, and you'll see that coming up here. Another is the actual rail detonator, which I'm getting out here. And another is that it's the only secret in the level, so you get another 4-star, which just comes in useful in levels 8 and 9.
Stormtroopers.
And on that jump, we bypass a lot of triggers that make the enemies visible and active. And so I'm just sort of going around a bunch of invisible, inactive enemies, which is a nice break in the run.
Yeah, I figure the engine probably isn't capable of spawning enemies in or something, so the way that they sort of simulate that is to put the enemies invisible and with no scripts on the level to begin with, and then activate them later when you approach. That's just my guess as to why you'd have invisible enemies there.
Yeah, and as you see there, I activated the lift, I called the lift, and I started doing a bunch of lightsabers, and that's just for timing, so I would know exactly when to leave and go back and preserve all our armor for level 8.
A young and willing dark Jedi.
Now, we didn't actually have to wait through these intro screens, but we put them in post-editing, because you can't skip them when you're playing through the game when you first start the level.
Master at any cost.
Yeah, once you've already died once in the level and you hit restart, then this intro doesn't play again, but there's no way to skip it the first time in, so we figured they should be included.
Yeah, right here, basically, I'm just holding down lightsaber alternate. Yeah, I'm holding down lightsaber alternate and just hit him 4 times and avoid all damage. And it's pretty easy. Easiest level in the run, I think.
Now, this level was done by me. First trick is opening up the glass ceiling of the lightsaber. Second trick is this jump here. There's an invisible wall blocking you getting onto this roof, but there's a gap in it. Basically the right hand side doesn't have the wall, it's only the front and left. So if you jump and then curve in the air, you can get up. And now finally, we said earlier your corpse can be boosted by explosions, and that just propelled me all the way to the level end trigger. From a roof that you're not supposed to be on, through a hole in the wall, onto the end of the level. And now it's just a matter of waiting for the end sequence to play out and the next level to play.
Yeah, I like to think that Kyle isn't actually dead, he's just fallen down and still yelling at 8088. And Jan comes and gets him.
We're a big tank of Bacta.
Yeah, actually, this has superseded another amazing trick that you came up with this level, which is basically falling all the way down and landing on some stormtrooper.
Stay sharp.
And do a little reverse ramp jump there. So it's the opposite of a regular ramp jump, and so it tempers the height of the jump. Yeah, we just grabbed a super shield, which is basically invincibility to everything but impact damage, which is falling damage. Includes that. So we use it to blast that guy out of the way. Grab a concussion rifle here. Do a little concussion boost, which gives you a little bit more speed. We've got, we still got the super shield on.
I love how mercilessly you kill all these civilians just for being.
Oh yeah. So we gotta drain all these tanks, and basically I can kill as many civilians as I want and still go light side, which is what we need for this run. It's kind of funny because every point into a light side power that you get gives you the license to kill 3 civilians. It's a little bit twisted. Yeah, and so we were grabbing a bunch of stuff during when the tanks were draining here. And there's no way to make this go faster. So I'll just talk about something else. This is actually, this run is 10 minutes and 40 seconds faster than the old run, which is a huge improvement. And it also looks a lot nicer. I did the old one like 6 years ago or something in college. And this is just like so much better in execution and tricks and everything. It's really great. When I was redoing it, I was mostly just like, oh, okay, well, I know this 15-second time saver I can do on level 15, and I'll make it look nicer, but it came out like a lot better. And right here, it looks like I don't quite get to it in time, but it doesn't really matter since you have to wait for the previous door to close. Yeah.
That's
like
a nice
that
little
one.
trick there, managing to slice open that floor without landing on.
Yeah, there's some tricks that I don't need to have a good run of the level, but I just want to have because they're just so fun. Oh, that one there, that was actually a jump pretty far up. That one was a rail wall jump, rail force wall jump. So you basically force jump and hit the wall in front of you. And for some reason that repels you mostly upward, a little out, but mostly upward, even though you hit the wall, even though you're hitting the wall directly. And right here I'm counting the little red and white checkered things to see when I should do this jump. Basically use up all my force to get up to beat the elevator here.
Yeah, if you misjudge that and make it almost to the top and then run out of force power, then you're screwed, because then you have to wait for the elevator or wait for your force power to reach.
This level is super interesting. Cabbage found a trick that makes it really crazy. It's coming up here.
Requires ridiculous amounts of luck, but it's pure luck.
Yeah, so it's coming up here. So what we're doing is we're hitting this switch to deactivate that force field in the middle.
Yeah, there's loads of force fields here that are activated and deactivated by switches, and if you get really lucky, then one of the enemies will hit this switch to the force field to this room, which lets you get in straight through the force field instead of having to go around and come in from the back, which skips 40 seconds or so of the level. I can't remember how much it is.
Yeah, it was 46 seconds. It was a little bit rough there, but like a miracle happened to make it lower right away, and so I just took it. Yeah, this level here was actually, I think, the hardest of the boss levels, because I have to hit both of them every time with every lightsaber swing. And if you don't like start near them, they just will block you, and like Gork will push Pick out of the way under the shells, or Pick will just wander off, or Gork will push Pick off into the main room. But it goes really well. Hit him every time.
Yeah, there's a few frames of potential improvement there by delivering the killing blow when you're stood on top of 88's head, but I think that's still pretty impressive.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get that one. Just do a little crouching here to get out onto this ledge. Getting onto that green thing is actually a lot harder than it looks as well. And now we've activated the level end trigger. Level's going to end in 13 seconds. So we're running back in, and we need some more sequencers.
The one thing that makes me really sad about the fact that we come back to these sequences, there's a really cool, fun trick you could do where you could jump onto the Moldy Crow as it came to pick you up at the end of the level and ride it through the sky. But instead we found something useful to do in that time instead.
Yeah, and so anyway, we jump up here, and we have to kill 4 panels before you proceed. So the first one we get, so we don't have to backtrack that way. I really like that jump out there. So another one of the ones I just made sure I had to have in there. And this bypasses having to go underwater. Go directly out of this pipe here. And this here is a combination jump. Sequencer boost, sequencer force boost with a rail boost on the wall going up to get through the rest of the way there. Yeah, Cabbage actually found a way to do this level in 12 seconds, which is faster than the 13 seconds we do it in, by using force throw. Just spamming it on them. It's actually really funny. But the problem is, if you use force throw, you can't get force protection, which saves like 15 seconds rather than 1.
It is this hate that keeps his aging body.
Yeah, it's a shame. It was a cool trick.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Although the method that we do use is pretty cool as well. We trap more behind this building here, so that normally when you do sort of your 4th saber hit on him, he'll flee. Yeah, he's fleeing towards the middle now. We managed to block him in.
Yeah, Cabbage came up with that one too. And so that's actually the last force powers are going to spin for the whole run. We're going to get 4 more stars that we just don't need. They just aren't useful at all. And there's actually 4 different ways to get through this level. Like, they're mostly distinct. This one we choose because it's wide open. You can just get a lot of use out of speed. And now you see we've got protection on. That's what we got for being true to the light side, not picking any dark powers. And it gives you a 200-point energy shield. And also, while its effect is up, it just deflects blaster fire. And so you can use it to fuel explosive jumps, which is really nice.
Out of all the Dark Jedi I have met,
And now you're about to see why NG has been collecting so many sequences.
power
Oh yeah, this is great. This is just like the best part of the boss battles right here.
Perfectionist, quiet and reserved. This makes her a very
Yeah, we also got persuasion, so you'll see that here. It was just basically going invisible.
Now, in case you're wondering, the sequences themselves don't actually do that much damage. The reason that she dies is that when you're in that big an explosion, you get a massive acceleration, which then causes impact damage. And then if you hit something, you then get a deceleration, which causes further impact damage. And it's the impact damage that kills, not the actual explosive damage.
Oh yeah, and it ignores shields. Now that trick I'm super proud of. That was putting a sequencer charge on a force field, deactivating the force field so the sequencer charge is in midair, using the sequencer charge with a force jump to boost you up the elevator shaft, and then using a rail shot on the wall to boost you up the rest of the way and across to the exit, all fueled by protection. And before there I had to use a rail jump rather than a force jump because I was all out of force power. Because this level is really tricked on force power, since protection just takes up so much force power. Although the good thing about protection is you can cast it anytime. It will just drain all your force power. So you just gotta be careful when you use it. And back there, yeah, we're going through that tunnel where we're fighting the current. He says, I'm not getting him that way. But we do with diagonal running. And that guy gets in the way sometimes. Get him out. And breaking the grate up here. And there we go. Yeah, it hit 4 speed right away here, even though I don't need it. For timing reasons, it means it'll run out at a more opportune time. And this is persuasion here. This is like the main reason we get it. It just makes the level so much nicer. All the enemies are very cooperative. And we have to grab the control key, and we get in here. And now that we've hit this, we don't have to worry about doing everything super fast, since we're just waiting anyway.
Yeah, that switch starts a huge box lowering that we need to wait to get to the bottom before we can progress. So we use the time to grab some sequences. And yeah, now there's a trick where you can for some reason you can clip through that box.
Yeah. And so we clip through the box and we land on a sloped area to break our fall so we don't die. And blast those guys out of the way, and I'm staying quiet here so the guys at the bottom don't crowd me as I'm leaving. Now this little part, you can actually land directly on there, but it doesn't lose much time, and the rest of the level went pretty well. And here I'm boosting myself down the shaft here. You don't have to wait to float down. And breaking the grate with an explosion. Yeah, grates that are on the floor are kind of hard to break with your lightsaber, so I usually just explode them.
They must have unearthed the entrance to the valley down there.
Yeah, that fall was broken by the slope and like hitting into the edge of the object, so it didn't take any damage.
I still find it slightly amazing how accurately Random NG is able to control stuff at these speeds. Most of the reason I only did 2 levels was that I just could not cope with running around with level 4 force speed.
Yeah, but I mean that's what makes a run really good. Is that like the speed it makes you just go so ridiculously fast, and it's like everything you do is just so unrestrained in this game, which is really like speedrunning it. You can slip through here. That means you don't have to hit a counterweight. Yeah, but it's just great. I mean, most modern games don't trust you with that kind of power to like actually hurt yourself when you run into a wall at full speed.
Okay, we're on to the final 2 boss fights, then it's over.
Can't abide this creature named Bok. He is one of the few that actually uses 2 lightsabers in battle. He is a crude individual.
I love the introduction to Bok.
And teeth.
A crude individual who lacks
Only a
both
dark
tact
Jedi
and teeth.
can
Yeah, so we're basically luring him in here because it has a low ceiling, because you need the impact damage from blasting him to the ceiling. Still love it. Never gets old.
His heavy brow overshadows the empty.
Yeah, we actually recorded without music and added it in afterwards.
Jarek has the
So it actually is a lot nicer than it would be if we just recorded with the music while doing the runs.
like a dark cloud. A deep
Yeah, but right here we've got one blinding, which we delay a little bit and get us enough time to put down the 10 sequencers. And it's going to blast him against this pillar here, and the run's going to be over soon. So thanks for watching.
Yep, goodbye.